Hello everyone. Today we are going to look at bivariate data and how can we find the correlation coefficient between two variables. Let's say if you given a table and you given the x values and the y values, and we need to find out the relation between two variables, or we name it the correlation coefficient between two variables. So let's read the question first. It says 10 students were ranked on their computer gaming ability on a new game. Each student also calculated the number of hours that they have played the game. The results are recorded in the table below. So you given the table here the rank from 1 to 10 and the hours played. We have here different hours. So using the axis below, draw the scatter plot for the data in the table. So step 1, we need to draw the scatter plot here. So the ranking in games represent the x values. So here rank is x values, and the hours played represent y values. So here we have x values. We write here x for the rank and y for the hours played. This is the step 1. Step 2, you need to graph it. When you graph the data here, so the first number 1 and 198, 1 which is between 0 and 2, we have 1 and 198. So as you see here, the y values goes up by 50, and here x values goes up by 2. So the first number here we have 1 which is be in the middle, and 198, which basically below 200, so it will be here. The second number 2 and 143, 2, and you go up 143, so 143, so it will be below 150, it will be here, as we know that we go up by 10. So here, 0, 50, go up by 50, but if we split it, it will be 5 intervals point here between 0 and 50, and from 50 to 100 will be, you can split it into 5 interval point, like 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. Now, the third point, 3 and 88, 3, the middle, and 88 will be below 100, will be here, around here. 4 and 102, 4 and go up 100, so 102 above 100. 5 and 82, 5 you go up 82, so it will be around here. 6 and 94, 6 and 94 will be here, 94 below 100. 7, 54, 7 go up 50 above 50 here, 7 between 6 and 8, and here 54 here. And 8, 36, 8 go up 36, it will be here. 9, 20, 9 and 20 be here. 10 and 12, 10 you go up 12 to be here. So after you grab the data here and grab the point, you need to find out question B, which is calculate to 2 decimal places the Pearson correlation coefficient, which is the value of R, and describe the relationship between player's rank and the number of hours that they have played the game. So to find out the Pearson correlation coefficient, you can use the calculator to find out this value. So I need to, number 1, to find out R, which is the correlation coefficient. Number 2, I will add another question, which is the line of best fit. So if you can add here another question here, and I name it here C, which is the equation equation of line of best fit. How can we find this equation? Let's find out first the Pearson correlation coefficient. So using the calculator here, how can you enter your data to find out the value of R? Now, number one, you need to delete all the data you have it in the system. So by pressing Shift 9, 3, and then equal twice. Then you press Mod, and then you use number 2, which is stand for stat or statistics. And then we're gonna use here, you might use 1. This is if you use one variable, but because we're using x and y, two variables, we use number 2, which is a and b. So here we press 2, and then you need to start entering your data. When you enter your data, by just pressing the number and then equals. Let's say the first row, which is x values, 1 equals 2 equals 3 equals 4 equals 5 equals 6 equals 7 equals 8 equals 9 equals 10 equals. And then you move on to the y values, starting from the first value 198, and then equals, then 143 equals 88 equals 102 equals 82 equals 94 equals 54 equals 36 equals 20 equals 12 equals. Now after you enter the data, so now all the data now saved, which is the value of x and y, you press on. Now we need to find out 3 values. Number 1, it is the value of R, the value of P, and the value of A. What's R? R is the Pearson correlation coefficient, which is the value of R, and you need to round it up to 2 decimal places, as the question asks you here. Find it to 2 decimal places. So how can we find R and P and A? And I will explain what's A and B very soon. So you, by pressing Shift 1 and then 5, always remember that. So I'm gonna write it down here, Shift 1 and 5. Now by pressing Shift 1, 5, you might press 1 for A, 2 for P, and 3 for R. Let's find R first. You press 3 and then equals. So the value here will be negative. So it will be negative 0.94 because we rounded up to 2 decimal places. And then the value of B, again by pressing Shift 1, 5 again, and pressing by pressing number 2 equals, this is the value of B, which is minus 17.74 if you round it up to 2 decimal places. And then again Shift 1, 5, and if you press 1 to find out the value of A, will be 180.47. Now after you find the 3 values here, let's answer the question here. Question B, calculate to 2 decimal places Pearson correlation coefficient, which is the value of R. So R equals minus 0.94, and describe the relationship between a player's rank and the number of hours that they have played the game, which is, how can, number 1, it's negative, so you write down negative, and because it's 0.9, which is closer to 1, that's why the relationship here, it will be strong negative. So strong negative. This is how you describe it. Strong negative. Strong because we have 0.9 closer to 1, and remember the value of R between more than or equals minus 1 and less than or equals positive 1. So 0.9 is strong. And negative because the value of R is negative, which means the gradient here will be, as you see here, the gradient here will be decreasing, or the gradient is negative. That's why the value of B which is the gradient, it will be minus. It has to be negative. So B stands for the gradient. Remember that. B stands for gradient. And A stands for the y-intercept. Y-intercept. As we see here, if you draw the line of the best fit here, so the value of A will be, which is y-intercept, where the line cuts y, it will be at 180.47. So by graphing the line here, let's graph the line, make sure the number of points above the line roughly equal to number of points below the line. So if we graph it here, and remember that A, which is y-intercept, will be 180.47. So this is roughly the line of the best fit. But how can we find the equation of the line of best fit? The equation will be y equal mx plus b. But m is the gradient, b is y-intercept, but instead of m and b, you replace it with, so y equals, instead of m, you write down b capital, and instead of b small, you write down a capital. And that's why we find here the value of a and b. So y equal b, you replace b, which is minus 17, which is 17.74x, a, which is plus 180.47. And this equation represents the equation of the line of best fit. So to sum up with this topic, again, when you given a table, and this table just to give you the value of x and the values of y, and you need to find out the relation between the two values, so which is the Pearson correlation coefficient. You just enter the data on the calculator as we learned before, and remember the value of r, it must be more than or equal -1 and less than or equals 1. And after you find the value of r, if the question asks you about the equation of the line of best fit, just y equal mx plus b. Instead of m, write down b capital. Instead of b small, write down a capital. And this value a and b capital, you can find it from the calculator straight away. B capital, which is the gradient, which is the difference in y over difference in x. A capital, which is y-intercept. Thank you for listening, and please, this is very, very important topic for the HEC exams, for standard 2 exam, and also for advanced math. So please, if you can follow me on the YouTube channel, it's just called Smart Kids Mr. Bichay, for math and chemistry. Mr. Bichay for math and chemistry. Thank you for listening, and have a wonderful day, everyone.